Welcome back to PCM Yeti, episode 130. We need a rundown on pause before I can proceed because I'm too nervous to make a mistake while multitasking, talking through gameplay at the moment because things are feeling really intense. So at stage 4 of Giro, the breakaway has not yet established itself, and the 10 that had attacked were still being chased hard. So we've begun our fourth climb of the day, and riders are totally exhausted and struggling to hold position at the front as the chase is well and truly on. Well, that 10's just started to break up. They had just over a 1 minute advantage. And then just as the field starts to ease off the pace, as a couple riders were dropped from that group going, okay, yeah, we're content now. It's been followed up with an attack. It's an attack by these guys. Narvaez. Race leader Van Aert. Vingegaard. Del Toro. And Malesi. We've got about 4 or 5 of the best riders in the entire field have just attacked. We've got 122 kilometers left. We have 3 categorized climbs to do, and the first of those we're at the base of. And looking at our team, who I've been trying to conserve energy on, like I said, it's been difficult to hold position. They'll start to slip back, and then they kind of recover for a fraction and get back up there just a little bit, and then they'll start to drift again. They're burning through energy. Domestique for the day, Aiden Shaw, is nearly exhausted. And when we started up and it loaded, I was really optimistic that today actually could be a good day. Because looking at the profile for the day, it's a little challenging for the team that I brought to this race. But we are at a stage where everybody's got the objective. We were able to get multiple fitness peaks already, and our expected for the day was a plus 22. But we've actually drawn better than that. We have a plus 27, I believe. So the team looks really strong and potentially capable. And then this mess has happened. It feels like the field is going to blow up on this very first climb. All 156 are in the peloton now, but the proper climb is coming, and guys like Shaw are already on the verge of getting dropped. So as we see accelerations and decelerations chasing down, it's been a mess, and we will continue to try to conserve here, but Bammert's a little bit too far back, so let's ease off on his conservation of energy, as we can't afford to drift much now as we're on the climb. I did not intend to bring this stage in until those final kilometers and just go for it with whatever team I had left at that stage, but this is way too intense, and the first group of riders are already out the back. So Bammert seems to be holding position now, at least. The gap is starting to come down at the front again, and Ortiz is the next to fall victim to a quick slip back with the intensity of the chase. No, we did not catch, for a second I thought we caught that front group, but we have not. Let's check back in on the progress of all of that. At the front, gap was starting to come down again. I think it's because, yes, we just made contact with these guys, and the front group that's been chased from the very get-go is down to 5 riders. These are breakaway kind of guys. I mean, Vandenberg's about the strongest, I think. Cortez. 2 riders left at the front. So as these guys come back, we will sit up, and the gap will go out. We will ease off, but will Vasilevsky or Shaw still be around at the top of the climb? Let's find out here in a second. As we crest, Shaw is still here. Vasilevsky is still here. The pace lift was sufficient enough that they actually stayed around, but there absolutely are some riders that were dropped. Might get back on par, but they will not have much in the tank for what is to come. Meanwhile, the front group, there are 3 riders at the front. There are 3 more just 30 seconds away here, and trying to pull back away, but they're not very far in front of us. Overall, it's 3:45 to the front group. 6 riders behind. just in front of that broom wagon, and we'll see what happens as we go through another climb. But for now, pace seems to be sufficient that it will ease off. It's just going to make that last climb a lot more difficult because almost half this stage was at a very intense pace, doing, quite a bit of damage. And as we approach the end on this one, the breakaway, final 2 riders, is down to 35 seconds. We are inside 18K. Shaw nearly made it over the second categorized climb of the day. He was dropped probably 500 meters from the top of it, and he and the only rider who was with actually nearly made contact on the descent, but did not work out, so those two end up going backwards. Vasilevsky is still here, but as we head to the base of the climb, he's done. He's toast. He's going to just go backwards, so he was protecting Bammer. Bammer is our strongest rider on paper, but he's only got a +1 today, but I think he's still considered a strong contender, so either Ponemar, who's protecting, that's this color. Switch that up. Vasilevsky, you can protect Ponemar for what it's worth. So we are shrinking in size here as we go to begin this climb, but we're in pretty good shape. It's all together, and here comes that optimism part. For now, I think we need to do more to hold position, as I think we're looking at a pretty hefty tempo to come here. It's 10K, and the last couple are very much flat, so we're already at 6.5. It's going to get much steeper here soon, and we're starting to see the first attacks, so this is the time to respond. And how do we want to open up? Abdullah is actually looking the strongest right now, so we'll go with an Abdullah and Ponemar front, led out by a Bammert. Really going off of kind of energy levels right now. Luke Ortiz, pretty punchy. I was kind of surprised he's not one of our leaders for the day, but at 76-76, he's good. But we basically have better than that these days. 96 is maybe a little rough. Let's try 93, see what that looks like. Will that bring us forward? 5K. It's not going to take long to get there. So gels for those guys behind. And yes, Ortiz is working his way front, but he's also hurting that red bar capability of the guys behind him. There is a sprint for the finish on this, though. So if and when we get to the top with multiple riders, we'll have to reassess and see who we should be sprinting with and not just climbing with. But that's it for Ortiz, red bar wise. But if he can handle the tempo of what's going on, we'll keep riding with him just a little bit longer as we ease our way towards the top. Yeah, he's still handling the tempo, so we're good. Still good. We still got those couple riders off the front. There is no breakaway anymore. This is it. That's 3 riders ahead of us. And we're at 1.5. Here comes Fisher Black trying to push on through, and we want to start going into the other riders. Free Salam on his gel, 900 meters. There we go. This is going to start to bridge that gap. Bammert struggling to hang on, though. And Ponemar and Abdullah. We're going to crest without any sort of extra oomph here. It's 3.5K. You still... Okay, there's still 3 away. I thought it was down to 2. Don't think we're going to catch them. Do not think those guys are going to be caught. They are going to get a 1, 2, 3 on the day. Free Salam has just run out of energy, so Bammert needs to come through. But do we have anything in terms of a sprint? Oh yeah, both of them are very similar. Might be too late for the gel, but go ahead. So Bammert. Peloton is just 12, and we're chasing the 3, and they seem to have just sat up. Bammert just ran out of energy, so Ponemar to lead out Abdullah. 2K, that's more like this kind of territory. Or just soft sprint this thing, right? Soft sprint this thing and lead out for Abdullah. Into the final kilometer, and we're going to catch the 3. Abdullah comes through a little late. Stown minute pushed on, and Malesi and Casto saved a little something to get the throw to the line. Malesi takes the win ahead of Casto. Buitrago actually still finishes ahead of Stown Medit. So they do hang on to their 1-2-3, even though the gap was bridged. Stown Medit then wins the sprint of our group. Abdullah takes second from that. So we nearly get the sprint. The front three calculated things just right. They saved enough energy to sprint it out at the end, just holding us off for the 1-2-3. Couldn't have been any tighter on those three getting caught and then beat, but they end up still sweeping the podium, and then we were second in the sprint anyway, so we would have come up just short. Still a hell of a result though, for the team. Like I said, this was a stage that felt a little too much, and then I was optimistic, and then the chaos of the early part of the stage really made me fearful that it would be a bit too much, and it was for a lot of the guys. I mean, Koos, August, Van Aert, all well outside of the top 10 there, and a lot of riders, GC riders, lost time today. We had a very, very solid 5-8, and then 2 more guys in the top 25, 2 more in the top 50. There's going to be a pretty big shakeup in the early stages of this race and what that's going to look like GC-wise, but that's not what we're here for anyway, and we're not going to be contenders. That was an interesting race. That was a fun race, but it was not a victory. But we'll move on to the next one. I think today takes the cake as the worst net team draw that I've ever had. We have a -16 today. I've had -12s, -13s. I think I've had a -15. I don't think I've ever had a -16 like this. It is crazy. Weather's already taken into account before the race day condition. The expected is there. It will lower some riders' expectations for the day. So as we go just inside 10K, today has actually been a very intense day for a sprint stage. Bammert, let's go ahead and keep pushing on just with the yellow without the red bar. But we've got a peloton that's slightly shrunken down. A lot of really, really exhausted riders with 7K left. Shaw is supposed to be our lead out guy. He's one of 3 riders that have drawn a literal -5 today on the team. Bammert's done, so on to Free Salam, 6K, so gels for the rest. I don't think Shaw can actually lead this thing out. Shaw's got to come up ahead. Abdullah's going to have to lead out for Vasilevsky. It's just that it is what it is. It is what it is. Yeah, he does not have the energy, so I'm glad I made the switch here. 2.8 on to Shaw to lead out Abdullah, already down to 2.4. Abdullah is not going to hurt Vasilevsky too bad because he's not much of a sprinter, so we're going to go early and then use Vasilevsky late. Does he have the speed to hold these guys off? I think he's going to lose the throw. I think he's going to lose the throw. He does lose the throw. In fact, he loses it to both guys on the outside of him. Simmons takes the win ahead of Van Morik. But if we had a stronger lead out, that probably would have been a win today. Vasilevsky does not have the most amazing top speed. Simmons, I think, has about a +2 on base, plus the +4 for the difficulty, so he's got that hair more, and that's why I figured when we're side by side with these guys, all things considered equal, they're stronger. So this guy does have some good top speed, but they have better top speed, and so just that hair more over 50 meters is going to get them a quarter wheel or a full wheel, depending on the scenario, right? So when it was looking pretty clear that the 3 of us were side by side, I figured we were going to come out the loser on that one. We needed to be at least that half wheel ahead as we were making that final roll in. But very close. It's a podium. That's good for us. I mean, we've really struggled in sprints for years now. So to be securing podiums against the best sprinters, or many of the best, greatest, I don't know. I don't know if we can call this best sprinters, but all the second tier, the very, very close, very elite will win lots of races. We're not quite. We're almost with those guys now. We're certainly amongst them. We beat Dilly. We beat Groves. We beat Koish. We beat Lund Anderson. Lots of talent out there. Close, but no dice on this one. Interesting stage. Really tough draw today too, so hopefully we'll get a better draw on other days. We had a good draw for the last stage. Terrible draw for this stage. So maybe we'll find the middle ground soon enough. Well, this next stage should have been a sprint stage, but it's looking like it's a day for the breakaway. The gap's actually gotten larger and larger, and somebody's probably trying to hand off the jersey on a day such as this. The gap was down to 3 minutes when we hit the final climb, and it's quickly blown up to 5. Wouldn't have mattered much anyway, just when I thought we had our literal worst day ever. Today's worse. The expected yesterday was a 23, but that included Luke Ortiz on a fitness peak and then some points being dropped for bad weather. I'm not even going to bother with this sprint here, as we're not going to catch those 10 guys. They're still 3 minutes ahead. But the fitness peak ended for Luke Ortiz after yesterday's stage. So he's dropped 3 points on his expected, but we still have a plus 23 expected because the weather condition impacting a few guys. No impact today. They get those points back, and yeah, final 6K too far out. Not catching them. So no need to sprint. Today was a minus 18. So we had a minus 16 yesterday. Today's a minus 18. Vasilevsky and Shaw both carrying a minus 4 and a minus 5 from those two guys today, meant we would have had no chance anyway in the sprint. So that brings that stage to an end. Absolutely shocking. I did have that last stage, the chaos of the last stage, did see a handful of riders, none from our team though, eliminated through time. Sprint stages, you have a smaller window on the time cut, and you needed to be about 27 minutes back, and we had a handful of guys that were more than half an hour down and did get eliminated. So that will impact, and generally those are your domestiques that can't climb, and that will impact some of those teams and their potential sprint trains in some of the stages to come. But we've already got 3 sprint stages behind us, so I don't know how many more are going to be left in this race. And with a lot of early fitness peaks from our team, our effectiveness will drop later on. We don't have Grand Tour kind of guys, so late stage opportunities will struggle. It's these early stages where we need the opportunities, and if we're already seeing breakaway victories at this point, I'm not liking the direction it's headed for such an early comfortable breakaway victory. It's only stage 5, so opportunities to win stages could suddenly become few and far between, and we're only sitting at 1 right now, but I'm starting to get nervous that we might only see 2 or 3 at most out of this Giro. We'll find out in the stages to come, but that's going to do it for this one. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there. Bye for now.